He pooped this morning, and then his anus became prolapsed.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
so we brought the dog in, and
I regret everything.
we brought the
I
dog
regret
in.
hitting that button.
They brought the dog in, and so to obviously doctors do rectal exams on the pet. So you put a glove on, don't worry. You put some lube on, don't worry, and then you make sure that everything's okay in there.
What kind of lube?
KY jelly.
I think it's just like water-based. It's animal friendly.
Durex?
One finger or two?
Only one. I only put one in as well, especially when I have to express anal
more
glands. I
comfortable
just put
that
one
way.
in, and you just squish it out. But
Two's for their pleasure.
But then we had to put dextrose in it. So it's a type of sugar type medication that helps make the butt go back inside.
This was much longer than I thought it was
Anus.
gonna be.
And then we sent him home with some we sent him home with some lactulose, which is basically to keep his stools soft so it doesn't happen
Mute
again.
her mic.
If
Mute their mic.
So his poops don't get too hard, so it happens again.
I want to.
But
I want to intro
for a solid 30 seconds at this
yeah.
point.
Oh, a full
so
minute.
anal prolapse is a thing that happens in dogs too. His anal glands were also super full and disgusting. It was like black juice.
Hello everybody, welcome to the VGRCast, the weekend podcast where everything in between. This week I am joined by my lovely friends Steve, Mike, Monica, Ryan, and my lovely fiance Chris, who just shared a very disgusting story. My name's Kevin, welcome to the show.
I'm a vet tech.
Only
I'm
one
allowed to
finger for
put
the
fingers up
prolapse.
animals'
I
butts.
am an atheist.
one.
Y'all are making me wish I was religious.
What? Stop.
Jesus
Stop.
Christ.
Wish that we all had Jesus.
Guys, does it feel different right now?
Yeah,
No.
this
It's
is.
not
Yeah,
purple.
something's off. What's
I don't
going
know why
on?
it's purple.
Oh, you're
It's
doing
not
the thing.
purple. It's like red.
We're doing a bit.
Thanks, asshole.
Oh wait, it's red. Hold on.
Yeah, you gotta change the colors. Oh no, we're gonna look like we're in hell.
Wait.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
COVID.
Ba ba ba
Oh,
ba.
God.
Welcome to YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
What do
We're
you
over
think
here.
of YouTube gaming? Huh? What do you think?
Ooh woo. I don't know. Depends how this goes.
Oh,
I mean, I'm open to
What's your-
expanding my streaming horizons. Who
which
knows?
is why we're here today.
Yes, we are here today because today is a hashtag a day off Twitch. Essentially, it's a big movement by a lot of streamers, big and small, just standing up for the health and safety of streamers because Twitch isn't doing shit against hate raids and protecting its people and stuff like that. So We are here today in protest. No streaming on Twitch.
Who even does hate raids? Like that
Idiots.
just sounds like so much effort. Like it's so much effort to be just like
Racists.
that's racist and
Well,
Well,
actually,
You underestimate
It's not,
the
just, it's
power
not just
that-
racism. It's also like against the LGBT community and stuff.
oh
like
well,
that.
yeah,
It's
trans.
also mostly done by bots at this point. So
and also,
Oh my
it's
God.
not very hard. I looked into it.
Yeah.
It's super easy to make a hate raid, especially
he
because
did it 3 times already.
especially because one email address can make unlimited Twitch accounts.
Really?
Yes,
Oh.
there
We
is
also-
no limit.
We also
Oh.
should probably say not to hate on people
Interesting.
who aren't boycotting, because for some
Yes.
people this is literally their livelihood and they
Yeah.
can't afford to.
Some
So-
people, it's that. Some people are contractually obligated by advertisers to stream a certain amount of times on certain days. So there are some people that have to stream on Twitch still. So for the people that can afford to not stream on Twitch, we are here.
One of I mentioned this like off stream, but one of my one of the streamers that I watch on a semi-regular basis, that's usually she streams for normally like few hundred people, 300 at most. But
Yeah, I know that feel. I know that feel.
Hey, did you tweet that you're going live on YouTube?
She's on Monsters, Monsters channel right now, like the energy drinks channel, and streaming for like 15,000 people. So that's pretty fucking dope.
Like Monster
So,
Energy drink.
Monster energy drink, yeah.
Oh, that is kind
like-
of cool.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, it's like it is like day off of Twitch, but at the same fucking time, like you get a sponsor like that, so it's like, I can, you know, I ain't gonna hate on you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, there's certain arguments one way or the other, but the important thing at the end of the day is whether you are choosing to boycott or stream is to use your is how to wisely use your platform and say, hey, that shit ain't right, yo.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tweet
and now-
at. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet at Zombie and see if I
he-
don't know if he knows
no,
we're on.
He
What?
does. He messaged me.
Oh, okay, cool.
He might,
He was wondering, right? Harry was wondering.
no, he might be down for the count.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Next week then.
Anyway,
But yeah, we're here. Woohoo.
woohoo.
Ooh woo.
Oh woo.
oh
Woo.
Like I can
What's first in the
report
solid list?
comments in the chat.
Woo.
Oh,
I'm
hey,
gonna-
there's
Oh.
Harry.
I'm gonna
Oh.
block. I'm
Huh?
gonna block Ryan.
no, you cannot block.
Oh, guys.
Hey!
Oh. My God. Speak his name and he shall appear, I guess.
Put user in time.
In timeout.
Did I just put you in a timeout, Ryan?
Hold on.
Oh, I did. I deleted your message.
Now I'm first.
Do you want it on? I can
Boy.
Oh,
I
fuck,
have
wait,
the
these I
I
just realized these have our real names, or at least mine does. Rip
why I
me.
said you
Just
can
dox
change
my
it.
ass.
Oh, Steve, you just got doxxed.
Well, so did Harry.
I don't think that deletes his name from the
No,
stream.
it does not. It just says
I
his
don't
full
care.
name and then message deleted.
I got nothing to hide.
My ass ain't doxed. But anyway, hair flip.
hid you.
This is my real name anyway,
Like,
so.
oh, you actually timed me out. What the fuck?
We're gonna have some fun with this.
Hold on.
All right.
Sign into a different account if you can. Anyways,
Yeah.
Anyway.
For the third time, you can change what your name, how your name
I'm
is
working
displayed
on
YouTube.
it.
Do not want your toy? Oh, you're a hunt. Okay, that's fine. Too.
Man, this is problematic. I can't fucking talk.
Man, if
Problematically
only you could pronounce
problematic.
that word, that would
Problematically
have been a
problematic.
great segue.
Yeah.
It's
We're not known for good segues.
No, that's true.
Hey, you know what's a good segue? Vroom vroom.
I hate you.
I don't know why that made me laugh
I
so
hate you.
hard.
okay, bye. We're done. That's it. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Problematic.
JK.
Thi-
We're back.
I had brought this to the table, and this
Oh.
is
Are
something
we
that
back?
We're back now. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Did
Oh,
you
wait,
just
did-
get baited?
You silly
Anyway.
boy.
Continue on with our topic.
Anyway, so I had this had kind of popped into my brain. So like maybe a few months ago, there was a Facebook acquaintance of mine that posted a status that said something of what is something that you know is like either like a piece of media, actor, whatnot, that you know is problematic, but you still have an enjoyment out of it. And it was a very interesting thread read, and it's something that popped into my head recently again, especially with all of the talk on Twitch, and then especially because of the Blizzard stuff, because I know Kevin really loves Overwatch, and I'm curious to see if there's anything that, like, the example that I put in the list is like for Chick-fil-A, like they are extremely problematic, but if you still enjoy their food and going there knowing that it's there are problems there. So adding that kind of gray area to sort of that cancel culture conversation, if there was anything of that nature where you're like, yes, this has problems, but I acknowledge that there are problems, but I still enjoy this thing.
Well, I watch anime, so it's more interesting to find a show that is not problematic. But
elaborate on that a little bit.
Oh, never mind, Ryan.
Particular, there is. I mean, it's not that hard to find. There is so much male gaze in anime that it gets a bit uncomfortable.
Isn't it Yuri? Is that Yuri?
No, Yuri is like lesbians, but
okay. So then
male gaze is like a cinematic term for when the camera takes on a male perspective.
Gaze is in Gaze.
Yeah, they're
the other gaze. Not
they're
kind of
When you associate with.
Sorry, when you say gaze, I just automatically assume.
Also, the term you were looking for is yaoi.
Yeah, I knew it was something with a Y and an I.
But for a specific example, I recently watched the final rebuild of Evangelion film, and there were a lot of very serious moments in the film where the shot was just the character's ass. Very distracting.
Well, yeah.
Great movie, but had those parts in it.
Like the example that I was going to put for myself was Disney, because Disney is extremely problematic throughout the years, not only with like the blatant racism and anti-Semitism that Walt Disney himself had, but also in recent times with their goals to be the president of an evil corporation and just rule the world. But there's so much stuff there. Like, there were people just recently that I was at. They were like, yeah, fuck Disney, and specifically talking about like Scarlett Johansson suing Disney and whatnot. And it's like, yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
But I can't. But what?
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I was gonna say, but there was part of me that was like, I can't openly say that I hate Disney. I can't do that. There is so much joy I have for it and its content that I can't. That I know it's problematic, but I still enjoy it.
There's a great analysis video by Lindsay Ellis. It's called Woke Disney, where it's basically like it sort of dives into the Disney live action remakes and talks about how it's the basic premises of it is it's very easy to insert very basic feminism into the remakes of Disney films. Not so much with other types of the making up for bigotry of the past. Like with Dumbo, they inserted sort of like a plot line with the little girl to make it a little more pro-feminist, but they just completely erased all of the racist stuff from it.
I mean,
basically trying to bury it instead of atone for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then there you have a Song of the South, man. That's
Yeah.
totally like.
Yeah, like there's an extreme amount of problematic stuff with Disney that could fill like 3 podcasts, but again, I still love it and still
And Disney will still
enjoy
flag
their
us
shit
for it.
yeah, they're again, there's a lot of extremely problematic stuff with it, and I acknowledge that. But shit, man, I really love Disney stuff, and very excited to go to Disney World at the end of the month. So
Disney World.
And go on those.
Oh, we're
Go
gonna
on
Disney World.
Splash Mountain, the ride modeled after Song of the South.
I know.
I love Splash
I'll probably
Mountain,
be
though. It's
one of the last. Probably be one of the last people to be on that version of Splash Mountain.
What are they retheming it to?
Princess and
Princess
the
and
Frog.
the Frog.
Which
Which
also
another
has
Disney-
some things that we could talk about.
Another
but-
Disney movie I've never seen.
It
Well, it's
wasn't
good.
bad. It was good. I liked it a lot. I really liked that it was based in New Orleans. Because,
Nolans.
Nolans.
The general complaint about it is it tries to make racism an individual trait instead of a systemic trait.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a system issue. But Disney can't admit their faults.
Anyways.
Moving on to things who can't admit their faults. Why the fuck does Danny keep going outside at night when the kids tell her not to go outside at night?
What?
Your cat?
Oh,
Bly
wait,
Manor.
are we
Oh,
transitioning?
I was not expecting that.
Wait,
that
hold
transition.
on, rewind. Did everyone get to bring up their thing, or do we
I don't
just?
I can't think of anything.
I couldn't think of anything either.
I got a couple, but
Oh,
like
sorry,
nothing I
no.
can make a topic out of.
Oh,
The convo felt dead, so
that's why I moved on.
That's true.
if Chris wasn't about to, I was about to.
Wow.
I will
Alright.
point out that was a good transition, except for the fact that your cat is also named Danny.
Yeah, I assumed you were talking about
That is
Daenerys.
what I assumed as well.
Although I will,
I can't wait to talk about episode 4.
I will
Do my
say,
white dance.
just before we jump into Bly Manor, I am a little curious, because this was half of the reason I brought this topic to the table. Because of all the recent Blizzard stuff, Kevin, has your feelings on Overwatch changed at all?
I mean, I haven't played it since then.
I just haven't played it. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, like, I still love it. It's still a great game. And they're
It is a good
changing
game.
McCree's name.
Yeah, that
well,
was.
Did they say what they're changing it to yet?
Not yet.
Kevin
it's
wants
essentially,
it to
if you don't-
Kevin wants it to be like Huck or Tom.
I want to be
Sawyer
Huckleberry or Huck. Yeah.
Huck
They'll-
McCree.
they'll take
Your
as long as
Huckleberry.
the Washington football team is trying to change their name.
I
Probably.
think as long as you don't pour a bunch more money into Overwatch, I think you're ethically
Yeah.
okay to keep enjoying it.
As long as
Probably.
you don't
I'll probably
buy
go
more
back
stuff.
to playing it.
I really liked having fun with it.
Yeah. The whole thing, maybe we can play that after this. The whole thing,
I guess.
the whole thing is that, so I guess one of the developers, McCree's named after one of the developers that got fired for all the sexual harassment stuff. So they officially said they're going to rename McCree because of it. Yeah, I mean, I still like Overwatch. Overwatch is still fun.
Yeah.
I still play it. I mean, we also play Minecraft, even though, like, we all know that now that Notch is a giant piece of shit, but we still play Minecraft.
The thing,
he
the
also
thing
doesn't
is
own
that
it
Notch
anymore.
actually isn't actively involved in
Yeah.
Minecraft anymore. He sold his shit to Minecraft and fucked off to a mansion, leaving
Yeah,
basically
We sold
leaving
Minecraft to Minecraft.
Microsoft. Sorry, did I say
But-
Minecraft?
He
I meant
did.
Microsoft.
He sold
He
Minecraft
sold-
to
He
Minecraft.
sold Minecraft to Microsoft and then took his millions and fucked off to a mansion in Lacey. The way I see it, what Minecraft currently is
Jeb.
is all thanks to Jeb and his team, not on
And the newest experimental snapshot for Minecraft shows off the new train generation.
It's so cool.
the new what? Sorry, potato.
The new train generation.
It's so
It's
cool.
fucking bonkers. Like
Nice.
mountains that are like 260 blocks tall,
Plus,
Ooh.
but
and
plus,
the world goes to like -40 now or
Well, no,
something.
So the mountains go to like 260, but then there's still enough for you to build on top of that. So that's not the build limit.
They've increased the build
Nice.
height, and they've also made
Okay.
they've made terrain. They made natural generating like caves and ravines feel more natural. So now you
Nice.
might have like a ravine that like kind of crosses with like another ravine and then opens up into a cave or like an underground lake or something.
Or there, and then they have stuff like called aquifers, which is like a super deep lake that goes into like underwater caves, and then they actually made rivers make sense. As in, you don't get to the end of a river and then suddenly it's just grass.
Is there a biome as to which you can watch Bly Manor?
No.
What I was gonna say
It's probably
is that
based in a meadow. I mean,
is that we are officially restarting the Minecraft server when 1.18 comes out. So
yes.
Neat.
that'll be fun.
All right.
But yeah,
anyway.
I mean, there are mansions of Minecraft, and a manor is
They're-
kind of a
they're in
mansion.
the woods.
Oh,
It's
for
pretty
fuck's sake!
scary.
Ryan just transitioned you. Did you just ignore him?
Well, I was still
we
talking.
ignored
I'm
because it
used
was
to
a
it,
shitty
Steve.
transition.
Steve.
I mean,
I've
I did
known
a
these
really
people
good.
a long time.
It's a
I'm used to
shitty
it.
transition into a shitty transition.
I did a
That
really
That
good
was sad.
transition, and y'all were fuckers. So.
None of the transitions today have been good. It's okay.
Mine was
Well,
good.
that's what we're known for.
Listen,
but,
that's
like,
I'm happy that none of them are
Why
good. That's what I
manor?
live for.
Okay, let's.
Episode
All
3.
right, you fucks
Episode
who haven't
3.
seen the
my
show
first
before.
note is Tainted Love fucking slaps.
What?
Oh,
The
What?
song.
Oh,
Tainted
yeah,
Love
Oh, Tainted
fucking
Love,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
slaps.
yes.
Which
Very good
and
song.
also that's a fucking great what was it? What's not premonition? That's great
Foreshadowing.
foreshadowing for later.
Oh, Tainted Love, yeah.
Tainted Love fucking slaps. I will. That is a hill I will die on.
I mean, I don't think anyone is disagreeing with you there.
Why would you? You'd be wrong.
I didn't take notes, but I recorded my reactions to some of the things. So, because I can't really take notes.
Valid.
Okay.
But yes,
Episode
we
3 is pretty good. We got a lot of flashbacks about Peter.
Yes, we're
Yes.
and more importantly, we learned a lot more about the previous au pair, Rebecca Thrissell.
Yes, who is,
Yes.
I'm assuming, the lady in the lake.
Ah! I'm sorry.
Love me, Rebecca!
Kevin, what's your theory?
Speaking
You
on
should
that,
say that for
what-
the whole class to hear.
Well, she's like haunting the lake, I think.
So when she first met
We saw her in the
Peter,
lake.
did anyone else, like, based on her visual expressions, didn't she look like she was kind of creeped out at first? That was kind of the impression I got. Or was that
I
just-
mean, to
No.
be fair,
No, it wasn't. That wasn't the vibe I got.
didn't
off
get
of
No,
that
she was
vibe.
totally into him.
yeah,
Okay.
100%.
just misread that then, I guess.
yeah, because she definitely was like, because I don't think she's as submissive as she's been presented so far. Like I feel like there's some level of her playing him in some capacity.
She's
And
not-
in
she's
fact,
not a
they
true
actually go
sub.
over that when they're talking at the table. She's just like, basically, she got this position to not like as a con, but she wants the connection so she can become I think a British lawyer, or at least
Yeah.
that's what I guess that's what a barrister is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, is that what
yeah.
they're called?
Barris.
Yeah, barrister. Yeah, that
Harry.
I'm trying to think because we've got a barrister in Bristol, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's essentially.
Harry, you can't say anything.
The
You can
dictionary
DM me.
definition.
He hasn't been spoiling things
I
previously.
know, but you can
The
DM
dictionary
me about
definition
things when
is
we talk.
a lawyer entitled to practice as an advocate, particularly in the higher courts.
Yeah. So they're,
Right, so
they're trying to go.
She
she's
wants to
trying
be a
to-
lawyer and is using the rich and famous to basically get connections to skip all the ass grabbing that other female
yeah.
lawyers get in their
Oh, yeah.
positions.
Is it? It's
Fair enough.
single
But
female
Female
speaking
lawyer.
of positions,
having lots of sex.
yeah, there was a lot of sex in that episode.
No, it was a quote from Futurama. There was
Sure was.
there's
Yeah,
an
I got
episode.
you guys. I got you guys.
Single female lawyer.
I
Um,
get it.
Also,
I-
Hannah was ready to kill Peter for being
Oh,
Peter and
I
Rebecca
love
for being in the West Wing.
I
Though
love Hannah.
I was just like, oh, Hannah, you cock blocker. It's like, I know what happens, but I still ship it, kinda, until later. And then once it's later, I'm just like, nope, don't ship that anymore. I liked Ryan's note. Ryan had a thing where he says it was budget Ryan Gosling, and I'm like,
That was
No,
mine.
that was me. That
That
oh, I'm
was
me.
sorry, I
mine.
thought that was Ryan for some reason. Yeah,
I mean,
I
they get
have him
mixed
down
up
as
all the time.
Scottish Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
We had to turn on
I
captions to
like about
understand
Jamie.
him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to turn on captions because even though I've already seen it, I was also just like, dude, what are you saying? Your brogue is so thick.
Vanessa has
Scottish
infected
people.
me, so I can't watch anything without subtitles anymore. So I'm already lost.
well, or winning in this case.
Or
because-
in this case,
I mean-
I'm winning, but it's just
Mike
like
and Brian watch subbed anime, so they're also ahead of the game if they do that.
yeah, that was one of the things. Invisible. If you've seen the Invisible Man movie that came out early last year,
Is that any good?
Yes, from what I've heard. Nat was saying that Peter is the bad guy in The Invisible Man, and was really
that's
good.
Nat.
Oh shit, is it really Luke from Hill House? Sorry.
Because at the end of the episode, he's like, I thought that was him, because he looked it up.
Wait, you're saying Peter?
So
Yeah.
one note that I did have for Peter is that Peter really doesn't like rich people.
Oh, he's a poor boy from a poor family.
He's just a poor boy.
I was singing that.
What else? Oh. And I think it was actually revealed that Flora got the perfectly splendid thing from Rebecca.
Yes.
Also, if I hear the word perfectly splendid again, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Perfectly splendid.
You're gonna hear it a lot.
This podcast
you're gonna
is
have a bad
perfectly splendid.
I hate all of you so fucking much.
Well, so I mean, it's a mimic thing. Kids mimic things that they like. She likes
Oh,
the
yeah.
phrase "perfectly splendid."
I
so she
understand
mimics it
this,
from
but
her nanny, or
I
sorry, au
understand
pair.
it, but it's so annoying.
Which I googled because they made a big stink about, or the uncle made a big stink about that, where he's like, "You called it a nanny job," and I looked up the difference between a nanny and an au pair, and there are some distinct differences.
Well, which one is
Would you like
Henry?
to
Wait, are you serious?
Would you like to explain?
No, that can't be. Who's Henry? Is Henry the little boy?
Henry is
No,
Miles, or Miles is Miles the little.
Who's
boy.
Henry?
Who the fuck is Henry?
I think Henry's the uncle.
Oh, okay, that
No
tracks
fucking
then.
way.
He can't. No. Are you talking about Henry
No.
from Hill House? Harry, don't get them.
Fine,
Don't get them confused
anyway.
with Hill House. Don't.
Anyway, but yes,
He's
we're
the uncle.
starting to learn about.
Shit, are you fucking kidding me? The uncle actually is No way!
Fuck?
Elliot Henry Thomas.
That kid aged horribly.
He became an
No fucking
alcoholic.
way. I mean,
Yeah, there's a Haunting of Blind Man or
to be
Henry
fair.
Ingrave.
oh my
Um,
god.
Yeah,
More you
but
know.
but speaking of Henry though, it's very interesting to just see how
Oh, Midnight
like,
Mass is the next for who cool.
because I think I'm trying to think if that was in 3 or 4 where it's kind of revealed that he's very adverse to going to the manor.
Well, it's kind of both episodes.
No, he
I
just
think.
doesn't. Even in the first one, he was just like, I don't want to be there. You take
Yeah.
care of it. Go the fuck away from me. Like, I'm their guardians, but I don't really care.
It's also we also find out where Miles got his you got to find the person's key. He got that from Peter. And I think he got a lot of his I don't know what else to call it, but like womanizing mannerisms from Peter as well.
I have
or-
a theory about
Rose.
that, but I
Hit
will
us.
save that for when we talk about episode 4.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Episode 3.
So I did mention last time we did this that there was some potential relationship abuse stuff coming in. I just picked the wrong couple apparently.
Yes,
Which
you
what,
did.
Yeah.
what
very
was
much so.
which couple was it?
So,
I-
what did you
well-
think again,
I
Peter
thought it was
in
gonna
a-
be
Kevin?
Huh?
Sorry.
I'm asking Mike which one he thought it was. And then...
I thought it was gonna be like Danny and her dead
I-
boyfriend.
I had
As
thought that
did
as
I.
well. I
I was
But we're gonna
right.
get to that.
I
was
right.
Yeah, no, it was
I
Rebecca
was
and
right,
Peter.
I was
Peter's
right,
a possessive.
Shut the fuck up, Kevin.
Okay.
Stop knowing like
Yeah,
a
but
brain.
oh boy,
Hate
that.
you.
I hate
But
him.
can we talk about the
By the
fact
way.
that when that just the anxiety of her being like, "Oh, I've got to take care of the kids," and him being like, "No."
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
Bad
do I have
Bad
to
touch.
fix on that?
Kevin's exact word.
Bad
or
touch.
No, actually, no. His exact words after the batter incident was, "This dude is crazy." I'm like, yeah.
This dude nuts.
Yeah, like that's
Stranger danger.
that's
I do kind of like how she
I
kind of
I
slapped
wasn't the
that.
only one who thought he was overreacting.
What?
Oh, no.
Say again.
he was very much overreacting.
He was overreacting.
and not even
yeah.
overreacting. He was overreacting to the point of gaslighting. So
Well,
Gaslighting? Or I know what gaslighting is, but what specific instance?
The batter.
the batter incident specifically.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
When she was
where
trying to,
elaborate.
where everybody was tasting the batter and then he got mad at her later.
because
Oh,
even though
yeah.
even
story-
though everyone else was tasting it, just because she did, he was like, "You're a whore."
Yeah.
Oh,
To be
that's like,
fair, if
bro,
Abu
it's a,
Coley
bro,
gives
it's a
you
fucking
something
cake.
to try and
I
taste,
get it.
you're going to taste it.
Exactly, Ryan. Exactly.
Open your mouth for Rahul.
You always open your mouth for Rahul.
I mean, that's fair. I would too, but
But yeah,
like,
that's
but like,
the
bro,
type
it's like I know that like
Zombies
man batter
gaslighting
is
us now.
probably a phrase you could use,
Harry,
but you're
shut up.
projecting. You're projecting. What? No.
It was
did
like the
boy.
easiest gaslighting setup ever.
I did
Yeah.
kind of, I did. So I've never heard gaslighting used in that context before, so that's kind of interesting.
It's essentially,
Yeah,
from
but-
my understanding, it's essentially saying things to get a rise out of someone.
Well,
I
it's
thought
not.
it was.
It's
it's
more than
not
that.
just that.
It's a
Gaslighting
very
is like
specific emotional manipulation. With the specific action to control.
Here's
or
a, here's a,
like,
more
here's a
like-
good-
the,
Okay,
or
one person at a
the
time.
the victim says, "Hey, this happened," and the gaslighter goes, "No, it didn't. What the fuck you talking
Or-
about?"
or they-
That's
Yeah.
the context I've had.
or
it
they
used,
play it
I've heard
down where
used
it's
in.
like you're overreacting. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. That's mostly that is what gaslighting is.
Yeah, that's
Like they will not like they'll acknowledge that it happened, but they'll downplay it to like it's at a level 6, but they'll be like, no, it's like a level point.
yeah, and
Um,
also just kind of being accusatory of something that they didn't do.
Yeah.
Like to make the victim feel like it was their fault.
Yeah, like
Mm.
Peter was being like, you're opening your mouth for any man. Okay.
Yeah,
It is
so...
Raul Cooley, though. Let's be honest here.
But yes,
like if he,
so
sorry, babe,
gentlemen,
if he walks
take
in,
note. That's what gaslighting looks like.
If he walks into our office right
Guys
now,
can also be gaslit.
True.
This is true.
No, yeah.
This is very
anyone-
true. Anyone can be gaslit,
Anyone and
but
anything
Yes.
can be gaslit.
So not
Let's
just gentlemen,
maneuver-
ladies and non-binary folk, take note.
What
Yes.
is it? It was
Not just gentlemen.
gentlemen. It was lady. I heard.
well,
something
I
that
was
really
saying
liked the
gentlemen
other
and
day.
more so reference to the rest of the podcast cast because Chris and I feel like have a very good grasp on it. But anyway,
I don't think I guess.
not the point.
I
Point
had
being,
oh,
I
go
will
ahead.
have a
I mean, if I
conversation
do, let
with
me
my
know.
hand later.
What?
What?
Anyway.
but episode
I really
3,
wanna
we
Sorry.
find out that Raul Cooley's mom dies.
Hang on.
That
One
was
second.
right.
That's the
Yeah.
very end.
Hang on one second.
I would
Harry,
like
stop
to
being literal.
I would like to bring attention to the I thought the transitions between the past and the present using like objects and I think people's faces too. Fucking god
Yeah.
tier. Those are
Yeah,
good.
I really
The,
like.
the transitions in this show are fucking
I
god tier.
love me a good transition. I will sometimes go very
One of
done. I
my
appreciate
favorite
that.
ones in 3 was when I believe Rebecca and Peter closed the door and they, closed the bedroom door and then the door opened and it was Danny
Yeah.
Mhm.
in the
Yes.
morning. I was like, I really like.
Oh, I also really appreciate Owen's puns. I got a couple noted down here. The
Oh,
one
actually,
was
I tweeted at him the other
battered
day.
woman got a chuckle out of me. I was just like, oh, that's terrible.
I tweeted at him the other day. Hang on, let me see what I said. Oh, maybe I didn't tweet at him. I thought I did.
Also, who ships? I think
Don't
we
say
all
anyways,
ship
okay.
Hannah and Owen, right?
Not to a similar degree as Danny and the Gardener, but
I don't
no, absolutely not.
But there's also some
Oh yeah, I got it.
potentially questionable traits about Hannah that
I still
would-
think Hannah's a ghost.
I
she
don't think
drank
she's a
in the
ghost.
next episode.
She
did
did,
drink.
but she did drink. We finally saw her consume
Alcohol.
something.
Hannah's
But
not,
I still
don't
think she's
Hannah's
a ghost.
because she
she's
doesn't
not
have
a
any.
ghost because I think they're setting her up to also potentially have dementia in the future.
Mm.
Because
I still
she
think
keeps
ghost.
talking about how her mind gets away from her.
Ooh.
So they're setting it up to be as she is going to be a replacement for Owen's mom.
I picked that.
like it.
I picked up as like a ghost thing. I don't know. I still
Nah,
think,
I don't think she's a ghost.
ghosts are weird in this universe. A ghost
Well-
is literally tracking mud around a house. They're walking around. They're moving things. They're doing weird things. I think the rules of
Yeah, but,
ghosts are
like-
very
but-
different. Let me finish. The rules of ghosts are very different in this universe. They're physical things. I still think Hannah's a ghost because she's just got too many weird mannerisms.
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 She got too many weird quirks that like she barely eats. Like we've seen her drink once.
I think she's just a fucking weirdo.
Wait, I want
Like
to
the
see this
rest of
tweet.
the rest of the people in this fucking house.
My friends and I are doing a media club, and they correctly decided on Blind Manor. I'm sorry, not sorry. One of my favorite old lines will always be "Alcohol you later." I'm doing a rewatch, and they're all watching for the same first time. I can't say anything. Ah.
Oh, and then
Do you like my dramatic reading of your tweet?
we finally got the Christ gift.
I'm just
the
gonna
Christ.
say, bad eating schedules also a symptom of dementia.
Valid.
Fair.
I'm on Mike's side with this
Guys,
one.
I don't want
Sorry,
to get.
Kev.
I think dementia's
guys,
too.
Shut up. I don't want to get fixated on dementia because I'm dealing with it personally in my life. So please, we're not going to
Okay.
focus on that.
Then let's move on to episode 4.
I was gonna
well,
say I'm still sticking by my guns. It makes more sense.
Actually, I got one more small thing and a big thing I want to do for episode 3. Did anyone else note that Peter's got a scar on his cheek? I don't know if that's just the actor's thing or if that's that's part of the character, but
No,
he definitely has a very noticeable scar. Like,
he's
right
he's
there.
had that the whole time. I think.
I didn't
Haven't
notice it until he was in the kitchen. I was like, hey, that's some stage makeup right there. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It looked like stage makeup. And okay, so at the end of episode 3. Who we later find out is Eddie, manifests physically, not outside of a reflective surface, and then gets yoinked into the fucking house.
Oh yeah, what?
You
Oh.
want to know why though?
What was that?
Hold on.
I have a theory.
I have a theory too.
All right.
I think the house is some kind of trauma magnet or trauma vampire or trauma sponge, so to speak.
I think.
Shut up, Kevin. Shut up. Let me finish my theory here. I have this
Okay.
thought out. Where I am not 100% convinced yet. I can be easily convinced that Peter Quint is dead. I don't think he's there physically at the house, though. Because whereas Eddie is Danny's trauma, so he's become part of the house now because she brought her trauma with her. So he can manifest because the house is all fucky. He can manifest physically now, and not just in her mind or on her like reflective surface, which is where she's seen him all the way up till the end of episode 3. Peter Quint was Rebecca's trauma. So before she killed herself, he might have become part of the house, so to speak.
Not confirmed on killed herself, but
Well,
go on.
We haven't seen her die yet.
Before
I
she
think
died.
I think in the first episode, someone said something to the effect of "offed herself."
Right, but that doesn't mean like she actually did. That's just what they think
Yes.
happened. But because they say they found her floating face down in a pond, so that could
True.
literally mean anything. But my theory is that some of them at least are trauma ghosts. That's just my personal theory. I honestly don't think it's going to be correct, but it's an idea.
My theory is close to yours. I think you guys are reading too much into the trauma. I think you guys are reading too much into the trauma. There hasn't been any like hard like storyline explanations that trauma is involved in any way.
I mean,
I think they're just ghosts.
except for
No, hold on.
Eddie, but we're gonna get to that.
Hold on. I think they're just ghosts. They're not trauma ghosts. They're just straight up ghosts. I think that Eddie might have been haunting her, or maybe he really was just trauma. But because she still has his glasses, he becomes a ghost or something like that.
Okay, I can buy
Where
that.
well, that's why, because I saw the same thing where like because he was only in mirrors and stuff. At the end of episode 3, she turns around, he's there like outside the mirror, and then he gets sucked into the house. So I think you are kind of right though, and I didn't think about that until now. But like the house might like draw out spiritual energy somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of brought him with. So now might be
I can
part of
buy
the
that one,
house.
too.
But also like then skipping to episode 4 though, because we're just on the topic of Eddie and stuff.
What? We can move on. We don't.
Well,
need to
no,
skip.
just-
Why
just-
don't we
I-
just move. Are we done with episode 3?
Yeah.
Let's just move to episode 4.
Okay, I'm just gonna skip to the end of episode 4 just because we're at. I'm not gonna. We're gonna go back, but like when she throws the glasses in the fire, and like there's like at the very end of the episode, it's very quick, but like there's like a crack and a big flash kind of thing, and like it looked like some of him kind of like embered away. So I don't know if like.
his physical tether to the world with the glasses.
Yeah.
Although he did end the episode
I don't know.
just standing
just to
there.
kind of
though.
poke a little hole.
Yeah, he was just
into
standing there.
That theory is that she started seeing him in the mirror
Which is
before
literally what Harry just said.
yeah.
Yeah.
she started seeing him in the mirror well before she got the glasses. And one of the comments that Nat and I had in our post episode discussion is one of the things that's very interesting about kind of this genre is the level of subtext with the ghost, that it's not necessarily just a spooky entity for the sake of being a spooky entity. It is rooted in subtext. So I don't necessarily believe yet that there is some sort of big reveal with the house as a whole. I'm willing to believe individual things. Like one of my big theories right now, just to circle back to Peter and completely avoiding talking about Danny for now, is that I think Peter is possessing Miles.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's been, I think, fairly obvious, but it's been further cemented with
The drink, the
well,
wine scene.
the wine scene. In
The
terms
touching.
of after seeing Peter's introductions, in terms of the womanizing, and then also when there's the pan on Flora's dollhouse. Earlier they had shown Peter's doll, and Peter's doll was in Miles's room.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
That's something else
Which-
that was confirmed. The dolls move themselves.
Yeah, which is like, no, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
creepy.
So I actually have a note on that somewhere. Something to the I can't find it at the moment, but something to the effect of, is Flora's dollhouse basically the Marauders map for the fucking house?
It is. It is. It's a Ghost Marauders map.
Because she looks in the dollhouse is like, oh shit, spooky lady's out. We gotta go grab Danny. And then they're basically holding her attention while some spooky bitch walks past her in the fucking hallway.
Some
They're just like,
spooky
no,
bitch.
don't go anywhere, not yet. Okay, now he'll get some milk. And I was
And
just
she
like,
made
good
the
kids.
footprints.
Yeah,
Good
which
Confirming ghosts are physical in this universe.
We know ghosts are physical, Kevin.
You know that in the real world, or if you believe in the paranormal, that you can see footprints of ghosts anyway.
Well, not like muddy. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you can.
But
Fight
but
me.
anyway, originally I was like, oh yeah, that's Rebecca. But then I'm like, wait a minute, but Rebecca was cleaning up the footprints. Then who is Footprint Lady?
Then who was phone?
So,
Oh yeah, that's true.
I have another note on that. So at the beginning of the episode, we see Flora making like rubbings off of gravestones.
Oh
Like
yeah,
a fucking
She
creepy
makes
child.
one. She makes one for
Viola Lloyd. I think.
Viola Lloyd. You are correct. And they focused on that way too long for that not to be part of the plot. So I'm wondering if that might be our
Spooky mud ghost?
attic ghost.
Or is she spooky mud ghost?
No, there's
I think
attic.
Spooky Attic Ghost was Rebecca because it kind of looked like Rebecca.
No, because
No,
we
One
saw
that she
Rebecca in the
shushes, I think
pond.
was Rebecca.
No,
No,
'cause
that
we-
one didn't look
Rebecca
like
had a
Rebecca.
black. Rebecca had a black dress by the lake, not a pond.
It's a
Oh,
Oh
pond.
yeah, you're right. You're
She's
right.
she's literally
Yeah.
standing in the pond.
Yeah.
Lake.
It's a pond.
Right.
It's a lake. They call it the lake. That Flora hates the lake. Except Miles
I
says
don't
Flora
trust
doesn't
British
hate
people
the
when they
lake.
label stuff.
Anyways.
There was a line I
Sorry,
had
zombie,
noted.
but
There was a line I had noted down where the gardener says, just talking about dementia, I think. She basically says, just shoot me and put me out of my misery. And I was like, foreshadowing?
No,
a
me.
literal Chekhov's gun.
My
I mean,
my
you
thing
know,
was also.
I mean, also mood,
same.
but like foreshadowing? Not for dementia, but for
If they
for
killed
getting shot in the
Jamie, I'm
fucking
gonna be.
face.
If they killed Jamie, I'm gonna be so upset because
We'll be so mad.
because like they things happened this episode. Jamie and Danny, things happened,
Yeah.
About it.
So
and
that
I've been
was-
touchdown.
Oh, it. Although there was a part of me that was a little. I mean, trauma, as Mike put in the first, so eloquently in first discussion. trauma is complicated. And there's a part of me that's like, there was that very understanding of that she's like, hey, ghost, fuck off. And
I love that.
and then immediately was like, oh, I did something wrong. It's like, but she literally just told you she sees these things. Like, girl.
I don't think she was upset or anything. She was giving her space.
Maybe.
No, I think my interpretation of that is
a little offended.
Jamie was already established to be a very blunt character, and I don't think she's a very emotionally available character. That's just my reading of it, and so
I think she was just kind of giving her space, because later at the bonfire she says, "We good," basically we're okay, just we'll give it a try some other time.
Sorry. No, you continue.
But with the note with fighting ghosts, I said, I got the note. I'll sort them out for you one night, and I got all caps. Hell yeah, I want to see Jamie fight a fucking ghost.
Also, I love at the bonfire, they each have a bottle of wine. That's the type of bonfire I want to go to.
Mood.
Yeah,
they're
good
chugging
bonfire.
that shit.
But we've all been kind of dancing around the main storyline for this episode.
Danny not being straight.
Is well, one, not Danny not being straight, but also
Eddie.
just her is Eddie, who is our shadow anime protagonist man.
You mean budget Darren Chris?
Our beautiful boy.
Oh shit, you're not wrong.
Yes. I have questions about
All right, ask your question.
So I guess for people who don't know or don't care about spoilers, essentially Danny was engaged to a man named Eddie. They were childhood best friends, and
Eddie was obviously in love with him.
There were beats throughout their relationship that kind of said that like Danny wasn't feeling quite right, and eventually Danny breaks up with him right before their wedding, and then
She did not, Harry. Stop it.
and then Eddie gets out of the car and gets hit by a truck.
She breaks up with him, and he immediately gets hit by a
Well,
fucking truck.
my big question.
Sorry, can I just bring up while we're on that particular moment, this is something that bugged me in the first episodes too, but I forgot to mention it. The special effects shots in this are not great.
Nah.
I think they're fine.
That scene looked full CG. And
Well, yeah,
anytime
you
they
can't do someone getting hit by a car.
You absolutely can. I've seen it before.
I
But
don't disagree with you, Harry, but that's still
That sounds like some gaslighting material.
but also,
but yeah.
also,
Anyway, we're on.
but anyway, that particular moment did not look great. And anytime they do rear projections on a moving car, it does not look great.
No, I
It looks
noticed
like
that when
something
no
out
one
of the
was driving.
70s.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
That's the one moment where
I
this
mean,
show is
They
noticeably
might be focusing
faltering.
on other things for their budget.
I understand.
My-
I'm just pointing out those are the moments where this show is noticeably faltering.
My take on that is because it was one consistent shot from him leaving the seat of his car to immediately getting hit.
Yeah.
Like there was no cut. It was literally he opened the door, stood up, and then a truck hit him. It would be
Immediate.
unsafe for them to try to film that
Yeah.
scene as a stunt.
Also,
But there's better. You can do better.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I know, but I
also-
think Chris is right. They probably put money into other things on
Yeah,
this show,
for
like the
sure.
sets.
Like,
but
you got-
what the
I mean,
fuck was
you don't
the
have to
truck
make-
doing 80 in a neighborhood?
I was gonna say that it wasn't even a neighborhood. It was like the downtown area, and this
Why
like
is he doing
UPS truck
80?
looked like it was doing like at least 50, just vroom down like a
Yeah.
downtown area. Immediately, I was kind of like, that doesn't make any sense.
So here's a question for you guys. So going back to episode 3, when we see him being zooped back into the house, what do you think of this, where it's actually her reliving him being zooped by the truck?
Yeah, actually,
could be.
yeah.
Could be. Actually, yeah, that tracks.
that would
maybe.
track
I
in
still
terms
think
of him getting hit by the truck. Yeah.
I still think it was the house taking him as its own, but it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think in terms of especially Eddie more than anything is that I don't think he's a ghost. I think he's a manifestation of her trauma.
I mean, I think he's a
and
ghost now, but
I
like,
don't think
before,
I
yeah.
don't I
Yeah.
don't think he ever was. Don't think I feel like in terms of
Harry!
him.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this as not awkward as possible. But anyway, there was a lot of Danny's storyline that hit very close to home for me. I handled this episode a lot better than I thought I would, and simultaneously was like, "Oh God, that's right." But there is the way that they kind of had those beats, like with her trauma. I really felt it on my shoulders because I knew how that felt.
Hi, my face is warm.
And I know how it feels to have that anxiety of that there. For Danny, it was him behind the mirror. For me, it was a 2011 blue Nissan Sentra. But anyway, but yeah, I'll just say that it was very well done in the way that they kind of built that up, and I was very pleased at the way that storyline unfolded, as opposed to it just being abuse.
I do agree that I don't think Eddie is a ghost of sorts, because he acts very differently from all the other ghosts that we've seen so far. And also, I think if he was a ghost, we might have seen a doll associated with him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Flora doesn't have a doll of a Shadow Man.
But it's also made clear that she makes the dolls, though.
Yes.
So if she has not seen him or doesn't know about him yet, she would not have made a doll yet.
That's
Point.
that's a good point, but I will say, if he turns out he is an actual ookie spooky ghost at this point, it would lessen the experience for me.
I think he is still an ookie spooky ghost, that he started off as trauma, or possibly a ghost just haunting Danny specifically.
Manifestation.
And he's tied to the glasses.
Well, now that it's been brought up, I'm not 100% certain he is a ghost now, because the other ghosts we see don't just appear out of nowhere like Eddie does.
Yeah, we see Peter walking by.
Yeah, Peter's the only exception to that rule.
No.
But you see, previously he didn't appear out of nowhere. He appeared in very specific places. It's only until the last episode, episode 4, that he's breaking that rule.
You know, when Danny's showing interest in someone other than him?
Yeah, so I mean, it could still be trauma that, like, she's moving on and he's, like, now, like, more aggressive, but he could still also be a ghost.
I still love Jamie's, she's
manifesting himself now that she's moving on.
When Danny held her hand, I love... Nice, Steve. You're smart.
Sorry.
He just burned his mouth, I think.
Vanessa brought me some, what is it?
Food.
Mango coconut sticky rice, because...
Ooh.
Mango sticky rice! Sorry, from Stardew Valley. Anyway, I still like Jamie's comment when Danny, like, holds her hand. She's like, who would have known? Because she, you know... It was
I was just like, I think my note there was just like, am I the only one getting some romantic tension from Danny and the gardener? Oh, good, I'm not. The show is feeling it too.
Kevin was like, so much sexual tension.
In episode 3, there's a scene where she almost goes in for the kiss.
Yeah.
And then there's the part where she's like, undo my dress, and she just goes, blimey.
Yeah.
That was episode 4.
Yeah, because that was the funeral for Owen's mama.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're a couple. I think that pretty much that covers all the story beats. Does anyone have any ending thoughts?
Let's see. We brought it up earlier, but Hannah actually consumes some kind of sustenance.
Wait.
I said my comment to that was, even Hannah can't resist a bonfire wine.
the cracks in the wall that we keep seeing.
Yeah. Amy Pond's cracks. Yeah, totally.
I've noticed that. Maybe it's not every time, but most of the time after we see a crack in the wall, something spooky happens.
That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of thinking, like, is that like a signal that, like, things are leaking into the world? And then my thought was also, if Hannah is a ghost and she sees the crack, like, because she was in the church and she saw a crack and she looked at it all worried, and then someone walked in and then she looked back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone else seen the cracks?
I don't think
I
so
haven't been
because it was
not looking
gone
for
by the time Jamie
think
came
I'm
to
looking.
patch it.
No.
Hatchet.
Yeah, because Hannah told her to come patch the crack in the kitchen.
I mean, it even fades out in some of the
Ah.
same scenes that Hannah's in. She's like, huh, it's gone
Yeah,
now.
it like the scene in the church, like it disappears by the time she's done.
That's why I
fixing
still
it.
think Hannah's a ghost. She's connected. Maybe she doesn't know she's a ghost.
Mm,
I'm still going with my dementia theory on that. Maybe
Yeah.
an adult mind is more connected to the
she's
spirit
too
realm.
omnipresent to be a ghost. At least that's what I think. Like,
I have seen and read stories where people are ghosts but they don't know they're ghosts. So I'm
yeah.
I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I don't care. I think the dementia storyline's a bit of a stretch. That's just my opinion.
Okay, but yours is more boring. So
It is
yeah,
more
I
boring,
agree.
but it's also probably more true. Because we're talking about a fucking ghost story.
Well,
I'm
that's
kinda-
again, that was the one big thing that Nat and I were talking about is that like this genre of horror is that a ghost is not always necessarily just a ghost.
Yeah. A ghost might not know it's a ghost. Just like a robot might not know it's a
the
robot.
ghost of this.
Am I a
dick.
robot?
Was that
Any
a
other?
Loki reference?
Yeah.
Very
Any
good.
other
I got you.
ending
I got you.
thoughts? Because I want to move on.
Yeah.
I had a note that just basically says that this is a really interesting take on like a horror story where it's like it's not just straight up. I don't know. I can't really explain why it's different, but
It's
it
not
just
straight up
is.
blood and guts. It's more psychological.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's good horror.
And
Pay my
yeah,
fucking
it's-
mortgage.
This
Sorry.
That's scary.
psychological
adult,
horrors
hang
are
on.
not as prevalent in the pop movie and TV.
Well, no, because
landscape, so-
pop horror is all jump scares and it's cheap horror. This is more like
Yeah.
It
you've
does
seen
have its fair jump scares.
what
though.
was that one movie with Karen Gillian?
Oculus.
Oculus.
Oh my fucking
Oculus
God.
was fucking terrifying because that's 100% psychological. There's almost like no jump scares, but
I
it's
would
all
lo-
like
I-
fucking with your mind and
I
it's terrifying.
like horror. I do now, and that fucked with my brain. So I mean, if you guys want to get fucked with, go for it. But I'm not watching it again. No, thank you.
I want to get fucked with in a different sense, but
I know.
Anyways,
Anyway,
I think-
on that note,
I'm
Speaking
No,
of
daddy.
me, well, nope, bad transition.
just
No,
just-
you can do it.
Speaking of Mike
Talk
being
about
a fuck.
your hand in your anime.
it's anime time with Mike.
Woo! Okay, so this is not the standard anime box episode. This is my seasonal wrap up stuff where I'm basically just gonna shoot the shit very quickly about all the shows from the spring season that I finally finished.
Please be
I say
quick. We have
finally
three.
because all these
We have 3 log segments still to go.
I'm aware. That's why I'm trying to
Okay.
speed through this because I finished at least 15 shows, so I'm just
Okay,
going to give
cool.
a couple lines. So I'm going to go in order from least interesting to most interesting, or just most good. I'm also going to include 2 movies that I recently saw. But okay, so Moriarty the Patriot, season 2. Basically, Sherlock Holmes, but from Moriarty's perspective, and also Rich People Bad. The reason this one's at the
Ooh.
bottom of my list, though, is because the second season kind of dropped the ball. It ended a lot of them just ended up focusing on just straight Sherlock stories, and it just became a Sherlock anime for a bit. So that was kind of boring, and also I think it fumbled the conclusion. Just kind of average overall. Sailor Moon Eternal. This is a 2-part movie series that aired on Netflix a little while ago. This adapts the 4th arc of the manga. It's not really worth seeing unless you have read the manga, because it's basically just that, and it's not really interesting outside of that. Doesn't really add anything. First movie was okay. Nah, kind of. Second movie was good. Had a banger insert song near the end. Super Cub. This is another cute girls do hobbies anime. This one's about motorbikes, in particular the Honda Super Cub, and they will not let you forget that.
Hashtag
Got
not
some-
sponsored.
Yeah,
Mike
totally
really
not.
did not
sponsored.
get picked up by my microphone.
But it's got a great aesthetic to it. There are a few more serious moments that really fumble it, but overall it's a pleasant experience if you like slice of life
You did a full video on that one already, right?
I did a full video on the cute girls do hobbies anime genre in general over on Anime News Network.
Oh, yeah, we watched that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
You had a big focus on Super Cub.
Okay, Slime 300. So this is another isekai show. Middle or 30-something salary worker dies and gets sent to a fantasy world where she kills slimes for 300 years and maxes out her levels. Just general fun kind of show. Great storyboarding and layout. It gets a little sloggy during the action scenes, but the comedy and like more heartfelt moments are pretty solid. Mini Maid Dragon. This is basically just a series of like 3-minute shorts for Maid Dragon. They're good. I would recommend them. Demon Slayer Infinity Train, or Mugen Train as the localizers decided to call it for some reason. Solid continuation of the Demon Slayer story. Got some great production value, some great dream sequence stuff. It dwells a lot on reliving the past and trying to change the parts that were bad, but ultimately accepting that they are necessary for your development.
You might need to watch it before watching season 2.
You absolutely will, because it is just a direct continuation of the manga. Wonder Egg Priority, the show that I've been really excited about for the past 8 months. First 10 episodes were really fucking good. It's basically trauma porn in a sense, but it executes it really well. There's stuff about abuse, stuff about gender identity, just the whole gambit of shit. Then the last 2 episodes try to introduce plot. Does not go great. Finale got delayed by 3 months, and it did not wrap everything up nicely. So outside of those last 3 episodes, I can wholeheartedly recommend it, but yeah, those last 3 are just not good. 86. This is a mecha sci-fi series plus racism. I don't think the racism elements were...
Sorry, I didn't catch the title. What was that?
86.
Right.
I don't think the racism elements were handled particularly well, but it's got some solid character building moments, and there's a good emotional core to it. Also, some fucking solid directing. This is probably my favorite Tomohiko Ito project, though that's not hard considering it's the SAO director. Beautiful looking. Looking forward to season 2. Slime Diaries. This is a slice of life spinoff of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Looks good. It's got some nice heartfelt moments in it. Just generally good vibes coming from this stuff. I almost skipped over this. The rebuild of Evangelion is finally over, and we can confirm for a fact that it is not a remake, it is a sequel to the Evangelion story. So you're going to have to see all of Neon Genesis and End of Evangelion before you watch these movies. First movie was just a recap of the first one. Second movie of the first 6 episodes. Second movie was really good, took it in a completely different direction. Third movie fucking sucked ass. Thankfully, it's the shortest one. And fourth movie rebounded super hard, got a really strong conclusion. And if you know anything about Eva and Ano, the director in general, there's a lot of great meta elements to it. Would recommend. Just know about the third movie. Let's skip that. Odd Taxi. This is basically Taxi Driver meets Zootopia. And then there's it's got a lot of very societal elements. That is a great look. Yes. Got a really interesting society-based themes. There's one episode that just basically focuses on a guy falling victim to gacha games.
What is this anime called?
Odd Taxi.
Animated series?
Yes. And the final episode completely recontextualizes everything about the show, so I don't want to say anything more than that. It's good stuff, good animation, would recommend. Okay. Zombieland Saga Season 2. More of Zombieland Saga.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we should watch Zombieland Saga first, right? Like the first season.
yes, you should definitely watch it because it is the direct continuation of the series. The concert scenes have improved dramatically.
I need to watch more.
Just general fucking it. Zombieland is the closest to cringe comedy that I enjoy because I'm not generally a fan of that. But this is the closest I get to that where I'm like, okay, this is fucking funny, and it's also just generally hype as well when it gets to the concert scenes. It's an idol anime with zombies.
Ooh.
So,
Hi, Danny.
okay, SSSS Dynazenon. This is a
What?
mecha series that is sort of in a parallel universe to Gridman.
Oh, hey, wait a second. I know that prefix.
Yes. I believe I forgot what that one stands for. It's like Scarred Souls Shine something. Like they each have their own like acronym for the S's. Really good, just generally really good mecha series. Relies on mecha tropes, old kaiju battle tropes. Just good shit. I've been going so long, that's why I'm shortening these. Shadow's House. This is what I refer to as the ultimate Tumblr anime. Victorian setting, arrogant characters that are super into themselves, lots of shipping potential, rich people bad.
I like the rich people bad thing, but
Yes, it's also got some really interesting ideas about self-worth and identity and stuff like that. Generally really stellar production as well. Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel. This is a trilogy of movies that finally ends the main Fate timeline. You're gonna have to watch everything else before you get to this one for it to make any sense, but once you finish this, it answers a lot of the questions. Yeah, I understand. But it answers a lot of the questions that were left over from other stuff that I didn't get to. Really
like
solid
Fate.
film trilogy. Huh?
Sorry, I've seen the first like 3 episodes of Fate Stay whatever.
Yeah,
Only
you saw
3 episodes.
UBW. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch all of that, all of Fate Zero before you get to Heaven's Feel. And also
I'm trying to
fucking
find a place to watch it.
amazing production. It's the same studio as Demon Slayer, but looks even fucking better because it's on a movie budget. Good shit. My final TV series from the spring season that I would put as my anime of the season is Megalobox 2. This is a boxing anime. First season mostly focused on like a tournament arc of sorts. It's basically the 50th anniversary project for Tomorrow's Joe, which is a really old one. Second season is basically all of the consequences of the first season. The consequences of having a falling out with your trainer, of getting concussions from being a boxer, just all of that really interesting stuff. It improves on the first season in every single way. Good fucking shit. But my favorite anime that I've seen so far this year is the movie sequel to Shirobako, which is an anime about making anime. The first season aired like 5 or 6 years ago.
Meta.
Really solid. Yes, extremely. And this one is a direct sequel to that. It's got everything that made the first season great and more. There's like 2 animated musical sequences in it, like straight up music video sequences that are fucking awesome. I watched it right after I also finished a very tough project, so I was basically broken by it.
Aww.
It captures those feelings of pouring everything into a project and then finally seeing the end, flaws and benefits and all.
Oh, that's how I
It's
felt
fucking
about my
great.
book.
And I
having it get
believe-
ripped away by copyright.
Yep, all that. But just the general feeling of being a creative and all of the trials that come with that. It's executed damn near perfectly. This is so far my anime of the year. And in the coming weeks or so, I will be on the r/anime podcast to discuss this movie in depth.
Nice.
So look forward to that.
A round of applause.
That is all for now.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
I don't really have much to say about the ScarJo scandal anymore.
Already kind of discussed it a
Yeah.
little bit at the
Other
beginning.
than I think
Scarlet got
it's
Fucking gypped.
It's funny because not funny,
Hey, you
but
shouldn't use that word.
Gypped?
It's
Yeah.
a reference to gypsies.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Technically a slur.
Apparently though,
I
I mean,
won't
like,
say it then.
so when did
She got screwed
Swindled, bamboozled.
or
Anyway.
screwed.
when did
Back
Black
north.
Widow come out? Like 2 months ago or something.
A few weeks
Yeah,
ago. I saw
something
it
like
theaters.
that.
It was pretty good.
Shang-Chi's coming out Friday, and
Ooh, I'm excited.
Shang-Chi's is theaters only.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Which,
well,
but that's what the whole ScarJo scandal's about.
But that's also annoying because
Do you not know what the ScarJo scandal's about?
it was her Black Widow was supposed to be theaters only.
In her contract that she signed for Black Widow, it said it
In
was going to
writing.
be a theater exclusive,
in writing.
and Disney went and
Yeah.
released it on Disney Plus. And so now Scarlett Johansson's suing Disney,
and is
and
now...
then Shang-Chi's coming out and is a theater exclusive.
Probably because if Disney's good at anything, it's being like we've got to cover our ass as much as possible because
Well, no, it
because
doesn't-
I think Emily Blunt did the same thing with Jungle Cruise.
Did she?
I thought I saw something about that. Where because Jungle Cruise was dual released and Emily Blunt's contract said something similar.
I don't think that's as big of a deal because I mean they've already confirmed Jungle Cruise 2 is happening unless they're moving forward without Emily Blunt. Like they literally confirmed it yesterday. Jungle Cruise 2 is happening, so it's a franchise now.
I don't see how that can launch into a franchise, but okay.
I mean, are you
Search
kidding
for
me?
More money.
I mean, are you kidding me? It's the same reason how Pirates of the Caribbean could expand into a series.
Fair enough.
Because Pirates 1
Fair.
ends in a very like tied in a bow, wrapped up story kind of way, and then Pirates 2 and 3 happen and they're great, in my opinion. But so they could
Fair
very easily make that into
Yeah,
a sequel.
but was there any further update on that? Because I knew of what had occurred, and good for her for trying to go after
what, Scarlett Johansson?
the mouse. But was there any sort of result of that, or is that still ongoing?
I think it's still ongoing.
Okay. But yeah, just to kind of tie back to earlier, it's just like, again, Disney doing shitty things, but I can't hate them for it.
I can.
I can't hate
mean,
you for
yeah,
watching so
and
many
that's
movies.
But
I can't hate you for watching so many movies, Monica.
yeah, you can't.
oh Jesus fucking Christ!
So
No,
anyway,
that was a good transition. Give
No,
it that.
wasn't.
Let Monica talk.
yay! So
What?
with Bly
sorry.
Manor being so spooky, we wanted the movie this week. We wanted something for a more of a similar feel, but just make it really fucking New Zealand. So naturally, we watched 2014's What We Do in the Shadows, directed by Taika Waititi.
I've wanted
that
to
sounds
watch
goofy
that.
as
Yeah.
fuck.
Someone watched this movie in Disney and was like, "This man needs to direct a Marvel movie." So for Patty. So what we do in the shadows is a mockumentary following four vampires sharing a
I need to
flat
watch
in
that.
Wellington, New Zealand,
What
and
streaming service is it on?
Hulu, I think.
Good. No.
Fuck.
What have
The
we
show,
watched
the
it on?
TV show is on Hulu.
I think it's on I think we did watch it on Amazon, but it's one of those where you gotta pay for it.
Back.
But it follows four vampires sharing a flat together in Wellington, New Zealand, and basically figuring out what is it that vampires do. And that's pretty much all I can really say about it, because I mean, even the script was like 90% improv, so it's like there's a lot of wacky hijinks that just happen. And it kind of calls to illusions. The four vampires are then five main vampires are kind of callbacks to different vampires. Taika Waititi's, I think, is based off of Gary Oldman's Interview with a Vampire, the very sort of debonair, like, Jermaine Clement, who you may know as one half of the Flight of the Conchords.
He's
No,
also
it's
the
more like,
shiny guy from Moana.
Yeah.
I'm so
Or
shiny.
From Rio, the really creepy cockatiel dude.
Never seen Rio.
Yeah, so a lot of Flight of the
recommend
Conchords
Rio.
people
Rio's
are
good.
involved in this. But yeah, he plays kind of like the traditional Dracula, Vlad the Impaler type of vampire. And then there's a Nosferatu kind of vampire, and there's also one that's kind of a reference from what I've read as the Lost Boys, and then there's kind of like a very Edward type of vampire.
Ugh.
Shiny.
He is as cringe. He does play up the cringe, and everyone hates him, and it's great.
Good.
But it is. I mean, if you enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, you're gonna enjoy this. It's Taika Waititi just being insane.
Okay.
Slight tangent, but we all saw the Suicide Squad, right? Or at least most of us. Ratcatcher 1 is Taika Waititi, the first Ratcatcher in the flashback.
Oh,
And I am 0% surprised that James Gunn and Taika Waititi are friends. 0% surprised.
yeah,
'Cause
but
Was he?
What? What, Kevin?
Was he?
Ratcatcher 1? Yeah, I looked it up.
yeah. So
Kevin doesn't
it-
believe it
believe
unless he
me,
looks
Google
No,
at
it.
I just want to see it.
it is hysterical.
He's also
It's
fart
definitely
in Rick and Morty.
it's definitely again from I made the joke earlier when I mentioned it, but the kind of with all of the spoop of Bly Manor, it was just fun just enjoying what we do in the shadows. I know there's a TV show of it, but that's currently airing. I don't know anything about it.
Harry said
says
it's
it's not
not
good.
super good. I mean, it's like
not good.
meh.
It's not good. But wasn't good show? Okay. But the movie is definitely worth a watch. It's a short one too. It's only 86 minutes, so won't take up too much of your time. Comes in, says what it needs to say, and just kind of goes. It's hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical, and would recommend. And that's all I have to say about that.
And that's
Nice.
Monica's movie of the week. Now it's time for Sports Corner, the place for sports.
I'm just gonna get started right away because I have a lot.
Okay.
Oh, how did I mute Monica? Hold on.
What?
What?
I hit
What?
the wrong button.
We're
There we go.
Yes, we're werewolves, not swearwolves.
Monica's picture's no longer up on the stream, Kevin.
No, yes,
Wow,
it is
get
now.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay. Apparently Jake Paul had a boxing match on Sunday,
He
I
did?
don't
and he retired.
Thank
Whatever.
God.
All right.
Can never hear about him again.
Denver Broncos came out and said that quarterback Teddy Bridgewater will be their starting quarterback for this upcoming season. He becomes the first black quarterback for the Broncos since Marlon Briscoe got the starting job back in 1968, also for the Broncos. Briscoe was also the first black starting quarterback in the NFL. The NFL has sent written warnings to about 120 players league-wide and fined 25 for refusal to wear a mask and/or a Connexin tracking device since the start of the training camp because of
Tracking
COVID.
device?
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Probably for like interstate travel and
All
such.
all fines were $14,650, and they will accumulate with repeat offenses.
Did you say 14,000?
Yes.
Nice.
Steve, these people make a lot of money.
Not if you're on the fringe of making the practice squad. Switching to footy, a
Woo!
score from Wednesday, Bremer SV 0, Bayern Munich 12.
Oh, you're talking about the German league.
Yeah. 4 of those goals were scored in the first 10 minutes. And Harry actually submitted this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo is returning to Manchester United after 12 years apart from the club. There was some issues with him trying to get the number 7 back, as he
They
wore
win today?
originally. And as of right now, he has the number 7 for this season, but we'll see what happens. Brazilian football club Juventude while not allowing fans into the stadium, one fan's house was so close to the stadium they removed tiles from their roof and watched the match from their house through the hole in the roof.
Nice.
Portugal beat Ireland today.
Yeah. Switching over to Canadian football, line judge Georgina Paul and head referee Tom Cesare became the first husband and wife team to officiate a CFL game on Saturday's game between the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Montreal Alouettes. Yes, those are real team names.
Wait, say it again. The what, and the Alouettes and the what?
Hamilton Tiger Cats and
Meow.
Montreal Alouettes.
Meow meow. Okay, well, hang on. What the fuck is an Alouette?
I know I
Where
was
does this come
talking
from?
about
Wait, is
hockey
it Montreal?
in
Did you say Montreal Alouettes?
Montreal Alouettes.
That makes sense because it's French.
Yeah.
It tracks.
I know we talked about hockey names last week, just bringing up another one. I did not see this kid in person. This is just a kid transferring from Notre Dame to the University of Michigan. His name is Rutger McRoarty.
That's a name.
Better than strap-on.
Yeah.
You want to know what Alouette means in French? It means lark.
I think it's bird.
So,
yeah.
lark. So it's the Montreal Larks. That's stupid.
Yeah, I just saw that article too.
Former NHL player and current COVID protocol breaker Brandon Prust has apologized to a woman he had an interaction with on Twitter and has left social media entirely after going on a rant making fun of COVID protocols, which led to Prust telling the woman in the replies that he hopes she ends up in the sex trade.
Oh my god, dude.
Good God.
It's so
Concussions do something to you, man.
it's so difficult for people to just not talk, apparently.
Or don't say shitty things.
While the rumor of NHL players might be able to play in the 2022 Olympics for ice hockey, a problem has arisen for the Chinese national hockey team. Basically, they fucking suck. The IIHF, or the International Ice Hockey Federation, has stepped in and was just like, listen, recruit whatever players you can. You have a lot of promising young players that are too young to compete for that year's Olympics specifically, but you got to figure something out. There's a whole bunch of regulations trying to recruit people. There's like a 2-year waiting period or whatever. Basically, they don't want games ending in 20-0, because especially if they have NHL players coming to the Olympics. Can you imagine Team Canada playing Team China?
I mean,
they're gonna get fucking killed. The two options on the table are China does not participate in the Olympics, unlike in years past where the host nation has a team represented, or they try to recruit players outside of the IIHF's 2-year time frame, which the federation is allowing to bend the rules a little bit. All right, the first of the long bits that I had, and I like this. I thought I was going to end with this, but it turns out I'm not. In 2019, the Montreal Canadiens submitted an offer sheet to then restricted free agent Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes. A player coming off of their entry-level contract is considered a restricted free agent, where the team that they belong to can only sign them. They have priority over contract deals and whatnot. However, when they have 1 year left on that contract, other teams can submit offers to them, the term called offer sheeting, and then sign them to whatever money that team feels they are worth. The player can then accept this or reject the deal. If they accept it, the team that they are originally with has to match that offer or do better. Otherwise, they lose that player, but they get draft picks in compensation for losing that player. This is typically seen as a dick move because you can the second team can really screw over the first team, especially if they're up close to the salary cap. This happened to the Chicago Blackhawks after they won the Stanley Cup in 2010. Without going into too much detail, I'll just skip right ahead. So, in 2019, Montreal tried to do this to Carolina because Carolina was up close to the salary cap at this point. Carolina ended up matching the offer for Sebastian Aho. Montreal obviously doesn't get anything. Carolina keeps Sebastian. Fast forward to Saturday. Montreal has a pending restricted free agent of themselves in Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Yes, that's a real name. He's from, I believe, Finland.
Finland!
Carolina submitted a 1-year, $6.1 million deal for him. Montreal has 1 week to match that offer, starting from Saturday.
Woo!
Montreal is up against the salary cap. They don't really have much room here. All signs are pointing towards this player leaving for Carolina. If Montreal does not match the offer, Montreal will receive a first and third round draft pick from Carolina, and Carolina receives the player. Doesn't end there. The contract also had a signing bonus of only $20. Now
Was
you're
it in Meat
asking,
Oregon?
why is that? Why does that matter? A certain player for Carolina wears that number, and I can't, for the life of me.
Bravo, Ryan. Bravo.
Also,
Nice
That's a
bit.
clip.
also, Hurricanes Twitter tweeted a Uno reverse card, changed their bio to French to match the Canadians, who also have their bio in French, and
Bonjour.
tweeted the transaction in French.
Oh shit! Get called out,
Shade.
son.
And now, probably the big thing that was happening in sports, as in the past couple of days. This is gonna be a wild one.
I'm ready.
So,
About this one.
right before the college football season kicks off, ESPN likes to give airtime to top-tier high school football programs in the country. Schools like IMG Academy from Florida, which is claimed to be one of the best high school football programs in the nation. IMG had a game scheduled against a school called Bishop Sycamore High School from Ohio on August 29th. If a high school football game gets national coverage from the likes of ESPN, the schools involved must be pretty good, as IMG sure is. The final score of this game was 58-0, with IMG Academy taking the victory. After the game, many people started digging as to why ESPN would even bother showcasing a school like Bishop Sycamore, as they were clearly not nearly as good as they made themselves out to be. This digging only made things more confusing and made the proverbial rabbit hole even deeper. This is what's been discovered so far. Bishop Sycamore High School went 0-6 last year, scoring 42 points and giving up 227.
Ugh.
They
Wow.
had played a game 2 days prior to the ESPN game, which they lost as well. ESPN could not verify any of the school's players in their scouting database, or any other scouting database for that matter. Most of the team's players were junior college dropouts aged 19 and over, so yes, grown-ass men got their asses whooped by high school kids. At least one player was using a fake name and lied about their recruiting. The school's address is a residential house. The Archdiocese of Columbus, Ohio, where Bishop Sycamore claims to be from, says no such school is registered with them, and they must be if they're a Catholic school. Which they claim they are.
Quick question. I watched the video you posted of it in chat. I thought I heard the announcers say, or the commentators say something about like it was like an online only charter school.
Online only charter school. Yeah, I didn't catch that until late.
I was like, how do you have a football program if you're an online school?
I think we figured it out.
The head coach had an active warrant for his arrest. He was fired a few days ago. However,
From what?
There
Yeah, from what?
he
Who fired
goes.
him?
he's in cahoots with two of the people in charge with the program, so he ain't going anywhere. The school does not exist physically and has no record of existing in the Ohio High School Athletic Association's history.
Damn
The
it.
team plays in a Texas high school league. Yes, Texas.
In
a school in
Ohio.
Ohio. Plays in a league from Texas.
The fuck,
Fired from
man?
a fake school? That must hurt.
I just love. Bishop Sycamore did not give the TV crew an accurate or complete roster for the broadcast. An elite school such as theirs needed a GoFundMe with a goal of $20,000. They received $140,000. The school's website is a blogspot page, of which was never filled out completely.
That's the best part.
the school was kicked out of a 2019 tournament for breach of contract. I did not look
Oh.
too much into that. Players were shown on camera during this game sharing equipment. In a game versus Stowe Rocks High School, both teams wore black instead of the visitors, Bishop Sycamore, wearing white because they forgot to pack the white set.
Oh my god.
They don't
Did they have a
do
white
they?
set?
Prior to being named Bishop Sycamore, they were known as Christians of Faith Academy, which folded due to fraud and misuse of funds, much like is what's happening here. That folded and they renamed themselves Bishop Sycamore. The school itself does not exist, therefore no education system. Player statuses are unknown. They have no home stadium. The phone number leads to a full voicemail box. Coaches told players that they would be going on Netflix for a TV show, which never happened. The school
What
had
do you mean?
players.
It's like Blue Mountain State or something?
I don't know. The school had players move into houses with each other and had them sleep on the floor. Players allegedly had to rob grocery stores in order to eat.
These are full-grown men,
Is this
right?
a cult?
Yeah,
Feels
Is
like
this a
cult.
cult?
I don't know.
It might be a cult.
This might be a cult.
Digging
Probably is a
back
cult.
to when they were Christians of Faith, they
I'm a
went 1-11.
Tagamondo.
They went 1-11 in 2018. The head coach changed this number in September and fucked off after the season ended in November. By mid-September of that year, they were no longer considered an academic institution by the state of Ohio. COF never held classes at all. Whatever they said, they lied about it. No one ever received an official roster from the school. COF
Episcopalian.
claimed students were being taught at the African Methodist Episcopalian Church. They weren't. The school and its leaders were using the church to dupe other schools into playing them and pocketing all of the money.
Sounds
COF
like
had a Twitter that was supposed to be for what the school was doing, mostly recruiting, but went silent around the time that they were found out what they really were.
Scientology.
COF was also found to be having players that were well over high school age. As of today, the governor of Ohio is investigating the
Ow.
Bishop Sycamore incident and whether or not the school is compliant with Ohio law, and to ensure the school is providing educational opportunities the students deserve. If you have any more questions than you did prior to me reading all of this out, so does the rest of the internet.
Yeah.
So if we find like a Walter Payton statue with goat's blood on it, this is for sure a cult.
Oh, for sure.
Somewhere in Ohio.
I
Yeah, I was about
have
to-
like
So an Ocho Cinco statue.
I think I just have one question. It's just why? What's the point?
Money.
Tax fraud.
What money?
Tax
Fraud.
fraud.
I like the
They
cult
got on
theory.
ESPN. There is money involved.
Is there? If by we like, did they not think
Laundering
that
money
people
front.
would find out? I mean, I 100% blame ESPN for that because, like, I mean, the
They got
internet,
duped.
the what?
They got duped. They didn't know anything about the school.
The internet dug this up in what, like 2 days, if that?
Yeah,
It-
I mean,
I think
there was
all
no
it would
research
take was
done.
a decent
Also-
Google search.
ESPN was told they were covering the Florida team, which is like one of the top schools in the nation. So that was their
and also Bishop Sycamore was like promoting themselves as like one of the top tier football programs, but nothing really to go off of. So ESPN was just like, all right, we'll take your word for it. We don't really believe you, but we don't have anything. We'll just take your word, and we got the 58-0 slaughter that we did.
Also, hi, Trumpet Steve. Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
That
today's
is
a
the
day
most
off
I've ever-
Twitch.
that was the most that I've ever said on a podcast.
Sure
I am proud
was.
of
ready
you.
to football.
I am proud.
Nice. That was a lot.
That was a lot. I am still processing all that.
Cross-nesting?
I'm
Exactly.
processing it so hard. I'm
I still
messing up
want
the
to
word
know who
process.
fired the coach.
Who knows?
Okay, so I guess we'll do this one to end the conversation. Anyone got any good podcast recommendations before we wrap up?
I do.
This one.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan
caught
says this one. Oh, good job. I did it again. Kevin and I recently started listening to Fake Doctors, Real Friends, which is basically Zach Braff and Donald Faison talking about their experience on Scrubs and doing a rewatch.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's actually really funny. They're adorable together. Our cat is
I'm
dying.
subscribed to it, but I don't want to like watch it until I manage to do like a rewatch of Scrubs, and I don't have the ability to do that currently. So
Do I have Hulu?
no, it's the one
Oh.
streaming service we don't have other than Paramount
Oh.
Plus, and I think I'm gonna have to shell out for Paramount Plus because I think they're pulling Star Trek off of Netflix.
Mm.
I listen to way too fucking many podcasts.
Keep it
so
to
I'm just
one.
gonna- Keep it to one. Can I?
Yeah.
Can I do... Okay.
What if you could recommend one podcast to people? What would it be?
I'm gonna go with Old Gods of Appalachia. This
Oh, I've
is
heard good things.
This is a fiction horror anthology podcast set
Ooh.
in the Appalachia region, like West Virginia, Kentucky, all that stuff. Very Lovecraftian horror kind of stuff.
Is the Mothman in it?
Is the what?
Mothman.
No, not the Mothman. Stuff that is way fucking scarier than the Mothman.
Fair enough.
And
SCP
Yuri
shit.
Lowenthal shows up as a voice in it.
Oh, the
Yuri
thing.
who?
Wait, the
Yuri
thing.
Lowenthal, the voice of Sasuke from Naruto.
Sasuke. Okay.
Hey, Kevin, you want to watch
Is
it?
there a Wendigo?
I was gonna say you're
No,
not
this
supposed
is
to.
I'll
like,
watch it
they're
then.
all like they're steeped in like it's steeped in like deep Appalachian lore.
That's
and
what
stuff
the
like-
Wendigo is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wendigo is more Native American lore, but
which is like the original like Appalachian Mountains.
well in season 2 there is they don't call it a Wendigo, but the way they describe it is vaguely similar to the Wendigo. So I'll say yes, and it has a lot of themes that you would associate with a very poor rural southern area.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna recommend Stinky Dragon podcast.
Tales from the Stinky Dragon.
Tales from the
is
Stinky
good.
Dragon. It's a Rooster Teeth podcast. It's a
He's
D&D
very good.
podcast.
All right. Sold me already.
Very high production value, very just incredible post-production stuff going on, and it's funny. It's an adventure, and I hate that I'm caught up now because now I have to wait every week.
Who's your favorite character so far?
I like Mud.
Yes, Mud is my favorite of the main.
I love
party.
Mud.
I like Mud and I like Bart.
Yes,
I
Bart.
like Mud
Bart's
and Gum
good.
Gum. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Gum Gum. I love the simplicity of Gum Gum.
And for side character, Brink Tussler's my favorite.
I love
Right?
Brick
Yeah,
Tussler.
he's awesome.
Eric
You
Couture is
stink
amazing in
bags.
everything.
Well, no, and then I just love that.
Oh, that totally is Eric. How did I not hear that
Yeah,
before?
how
How
did
did
know
you
that
not
was
figure
Eric?
that out?
Nice try, losers.
We've literally you and I literally talked about it. You're like, who is
No.
that? I'm like, it's Eric. And you're like, oh, okay. Apparently, I completely forgot. The
Losers. I love when he says
robot man,
losers.
the robot dude, is that Jack?
Yeah, Jack Patil.
The
Yeah.
little orb
Yes.
thing? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
um,
thought.
yeah.
I know my Jack.
It's a really good podcast, though. Highly recommend it. You don't need to know anything about Rooster Teeth or anything.
It's nothing to do
You
with
really
them.
don't
They're
need to-
just they're literally just voice acting. It's
You really don't even need to know anything about D&D either. It's
Yeah.
like super basic.
It's super
Well,
basic.
I mean, they add a couple of weird things that's not in D&D, like fucking
Well, yeah,
like
they-
The maze thing is fucking
It's
cool.
from what I so it's
Yeah, or
more
like
storytelling than gameplay based.
yeah.
There's
Okay.
still a good amount of
They do
gameplay in it.
roll, they
Well,
do
no,
roll and
but
stuff
I
like
know,
that,
but
yeah.
the gameplay isn't the focus. The storytelling is.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna rewrite my D&D campaign because I realize my D&D campaign is too much
Game.
combat, not enough story.
Yeah.
So I need to revamp mine before we start it.
Oh, she's on her
I will say
spot.
the maze puzzle they came up with is fucking brilliant. Whoever
Yeah, but
suggested that tip.
and well that's Micah, I think. But that is
Micah's the guy. Micah is John's brother, and Micah wrote the campaign.
D&D does stuff like that. But yeah, for the
Yeah,
most part,
yeah.
it's part voice acting thing, part role playing thing. So it's cool. It's a fun
Oh my
thing.
God, Gum Gum's little song that he sings.
Yes, it's fine. Don't talk about it. It sounds like Steve's gonna listen to
I
it.
just love the.
Yeah, I'll
it's great. Yeah.
Put on the docket after I finish binging through the podcast. I'm going to recommend. Which is it's definitely not for everyone. It's called God Awful Movies. basically three kind of, if I'm going to be honest, bitter atheists review what?
No, we
that
just
was
laughed.
my
We just
reaction.
laughed.
Three kind of bitter atheists review terrible Christian movies, which is most of them.
Hang on. Did they review Jesus Christ Superstar?
They haven't yet, but I'm
Okay.
only on it. But I
Because
think there's
that
like
is a
300
beautiful movie, and even though I'm not overly religious, I still love it because it makes
Oh,
Jesus
no, like,
a player, and it's great because that's
I
what
mean,
he
Jesus
fucking
Christ
is.
Superstar is on a different level
Jesus
than
Christ.
I think the movies that movies I would imagine are on this
Well,
podcast.
because Jesus Christ Superstar actually depicts them how it was. Like,
Oh, yeah,
Mary Magdalene was
they do
a
stuff like
prostitute.
the series of episodes I'm listening to right now. They're doing a bunch of Mormon shit and Mormon movies, and I'm just like, Mormonism is way crazier than I had any idea.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
What's
honey.
what's
The Book of Mormon.
what's the one that's based off of like the little comic that's D&D? JonTron did an episode on it.
Dark.
Oh, Dark Dungeons.
Dark Dungeons. Did they do
Not yet.
Oh,
I
that
don't
seems
thi-
like
I'm back in. I'm going through the whole backlog, so I'm still back in 2018. So
I
I
got
can.
another one I would like to promote.
But it's not for everyone. I don't think it's for everyone. As I said, they're a little bitter sometimes, and some of the humor can be kind of. I hesitate to say racist, but I would definitely say racially offensive.
Okay.
But they're not but they're funny. But it's funny. It's not. They're not being. It's not just to be mean. If that makes any sense.
Mm.
Like,
Have they talked about the special underwear yet?
not good. It doesn't come up as much as you think, but no, they did like an episode on like Miracle on 34th Street, and I'm just like, wait, that's an odd movie to have on here. And even one of the hosts was like, why the fuck are we reviewing this? This is wholesome as fuck.
That's a good movie.
I have another one once you're done.
But yeah, would recommend it. It's called God Awful Movies. Check it out on wherever you get your podcasts.
And then the one that I'm gonna just do a second one real quick, just because I started listening to this when I was commuting 2 years ago, and it took an hour. It's called My Favorite Murder, and it's with two women comedians, Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. And it basically, they go over different murders every time they do their podcast. And it talks about like the backstory of it, and because I'm a basic white bitch and I love all the true crime shit, it's all up my alley. If you are into true crime, if you're into stuff like that, they go into detail, and then they like go over all different stuff that's just, I don't know, it's really interesting to me, and maybe I shouldn't be that interested into it, but I recommend it. They're really
I'm
fun.
worried.
I'm also doing a rewatch of Criminal Minds.
Does anyone else have any podcasts?
I just
Sorry,
want
'cause I
Zombie
did
pointed out in
two.
the Zombie pointed out in the chat. Yuri Lowenthal is also the voice of Spider-Man in the PS4 games.
I also don't have a podcast recommendation, so I will echo Harry and just be. He said something about Misfits podcast. I don't know what that is, but that's his recommendation, and I will use that as my participation token because I don't do podcasts.
I don't really either that
Monica,
much.
are you into true crime at all, or not really?
Not as much as some other people. Like, it's interesting, but I'm not like down the basic bitch true crime rabbit hole as some other people are.
I know I've recommended it to you before, but if you did have to pick one up, I'd recommend Welcome to Night Vale. It really feels up your alley to me, and I'm not really sure why. I feel like you'd enjoy it.
I know Faye also recommends it, and
it's good.
I listened to like one episode, and then I was like, this isn't because it wasn't what I thought a podcast was, basically. I was like, this is weird.
It's a narrative podcast.
Yeah,
it's a narrative story.
But at the time, like, I picked it up, like, I listened to it like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And I was like, I was thinking podcasts are, talking like a radio show, and then like, this isn't what I was expecting. So
basically, it's a radio play where the main character is like the local radio host for a weird as shit town.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna pick it up again after I
do not go to the dog park.
Oh, but I like the dog park.
Don't go to the dog park. Don't look at the figures in the dog park. Don't do it. Trust me.
Is it spooky?
No,
The
that's the
show,
whole
not
thing
really.
with Nightville.
They address the spooky things in a very tongue-in-cheek manner, as in like, hey, this is just a normal Tuesday for us, and the town is getting torn up by like
yeah.
a giant glow cloud that's raining dead animals and simultaneously running for the PTA.
There's
No.
also like an extensive arc about a 5-headed dragon that murders one of the citizens. And
Hiram
there's, like,
McDaniels.
Hiram McDaniels, and there's like a
Wait.
lawsuit for it.
Wait, the dragon's name is Hiram McDaniels, or he kills Hiram McDaniels?
No, that's the dragon's name.
The dragon's name is Hiram McDaniels.
Okay, I need to watch that.
I think the guy he killed is named Frank Chen.
Yes.
Oh no! Hiram
Who
McDaniels,
is
the
just,
five-headed dragon.
who he then
I love
replaces, and no one seems to notice that normal-ass human Frank Chen has been replaced by a 5-headed dragon.
Yeah. And in the latest season, there's been like this weird clone and time travel arc to try and
I
replace
haven't.
the original
I
Frank Chen.
fell off. I kind of fell off hard, but I haven't picked it up again.
I see why you would recommend this for me.
it.
Yeah, it's weird as shit. I really think you'd enjoy it. Honestly, it's very theatery.
Yes,
If that makes any
it is
sense.
very theatery.
Weird as shit. Very theatery. Compliment or insult?
No, that's
Yes.
a compliment for sure. Like it's
Yes.
just
Asking
it
Monica.
goes up your
not
alley.
you.
I mean, I am weird as shit and also very theatery, so this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is a genuine recommendation. I really think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
Oh my god, why do you
Oh,
love
that's
it?
so cute.
Oh,
Well,
Chris.
I'm gonna make Soko love me more than him. So then,
Good luck.
Abby loved me more than him, and then she.
Wow,
I should not have left it that.
dark.
And with that, we're gonna end the podcast.
Let's end on that. Why not?
Dun 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 dun. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back
I don't know if we're gonna.
maybe tomorrow with more mystery random chill night.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we'd do besides just chill night. Because no Stardew, and Lasso's kind of out the window right now just because we need more time for it.
Well, we gotta go to the brewery tomorrow.
We're gonna go get a brew tomorrow, but
Got a
I mean,
shower
yeah,
today.
maybe we'll come back tomorrow and do another chill mystery stream and play just random shit. So, yeah, so maybe see you tomorrow. If not, see you probably Sunday or Monday.
Yeet.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Anime girl armpit.
Hair.
Why?